And we are back. Bryan Broaddus is here. Voch putting the beads on for good luck. Let me roll up my sleeves.
You better bring
here.
your rosary beads tonight, man, with the questions I'm about to ask you.
You damn right, man. And I think the audience likes this a little bit, you know. And of course, one day, Bryan Broaddus, one day we're gonna ask them to do a little mailbag type situation. They can ask us.
That'd be great.
One day.
I'm totally into that, you know. And I think there's a lot of people, because you always make fun of. I really do go at 5:30 in the morning and look at the comments, you know. And I do, folks. If you make comments, I appreciate it. If you have a question, I'll do my best to answer it, or give it a like, the old thumbs up, click it, you know, kind of a thing. If I like your point, appreciate everybody out there taking the time to listen to us and interact with us the way you do.
See, it's interesting when they have questions. It's almost like they really want an answer. Like when we come up with questions for each other, it's like we're trying to stump each other. Like we're trying to make each other think a little bit, you know?
Yeah, the one thing that I've always found is, you know, there's too many shows where it's not thought-provoking. You know, I mean, I really want Cowboy fans or football fans, you know, hell, you might not be a Cowboy fan. You might just be, hey, my team's playing the Cowboys this week. I wonder what they're talking about.
Sure.
You know, kind of a thing. And I think the conversations that you and I have are on a really cool level. I love the interaction with you and the way you make me think about it, and then the way it challenges me to make you think. And I think that makes for a very good show.
Man, Bryan Broaddus, boy, I was on Twitter today, boy, and it was it's a little storm on Twitter, boy. I decided to jump in and make my little comments. It ain't no problem. I just wanted to see what the people had to say, and boy, it was a collective ha-ha. We was pointing our finger, laughing and waving at people, Bryan. Bryan Broaddus, here's my first question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I use the word apparently on purpose because we don't know who lying to us. Apparently, Jerry Jones thinks the fans' sentiments about the running back issues are hyperbole.
Yeah.
Do you think Will McClay feels that way?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think Will's a smart enough football man. I really do. Will McClay is a very talented individual. And, you know, I think he chased this defensive tackle room. He knew that he was probably in trouble when he got into camp about 2 weeks in. The running back situation, Will does a great job of managing his relationship with the Joneses, with the coaches, and with the scouts, better known as the Bermuda Triangle. And Will is very crafty in the way he thinks about things, and he's not going to beat you over the head about it. But he is going to see where they're at with this running back room. Now, Jerry is saying, the media, you're talking a lot. And we had Stephen Jones on today, and Stephen Jones was a little bit more open about, you know, hey, there's things we've got to get better at, and we're going to try. You know, we have confidence that we can get better. Jerry was basically, and I hope I'm not, you know, too out of bounds with this one, but he was kind of pointing the finger like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You know, and we're happy with it. And I think Steven's taking a very much a wait and see approach. I think he's encouraged that his offensive line potentially can do this. But your question to me was about Will McClay. And I think Will's looking at this and he's thinking, I think Will's biggest fear is that his offensive line is as good as what metrics are saying. You know, we got all these metrics now where, you know, oh, there's expected yards and all this stuff, and everybody's pointing the finger that these backs aren't getting the yards that are blocked. You and I watched the tape. Everybody who listens to us, matter of fact, when I was out at my remote today, there were several people like, love you and Voch, love you guys. And I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate you watching. And I think people are more educated about their football teams than ever. They take the chance to listen to the shows. They get to watch maybe NFL Plus, that, you know, anything that they could do to watch their team. But I think Will is looking at the same games we are, you know, and he's probably saying, man, if I could do a little better here, I would. But I think he's willing to give this thing a chance. Now, how much of a chance? We'll see. The next move, I believe, would be with Dalvin Cook. that would be the next move that Will would make. And then if it's not Dalvin Cook, you hope you're not, 2-5 or some crazy thing like that. And now you're scrambling to go get a running back or something like that. But I think Will is he understands where this thing is right now, and probably he's keeping an eye on where it's about to go.
Just a follow up on that, Bryan. Last year when the offense was nonsensical, at least we know that CeeDee Lamb went to go pout about it and things changed, right?
Yep.
Do you think that the leaders of this team, 4, 88, 90, 70, 11, do you think those guys can go to the front office and be like, hey man, no disrespect to the guys we got here, but we're trying to win. You know what I mean? Like, we want the best shot that we have to win, and you sitting on your hand. Like, just as fast as we move to get Jordan Phillips up out of there, I would love that same kind of urgency to get somebody up in here. Do you think that the players can put enough ass whoop into this to make this to make something change?
I think the way you go about that is exactly the start of the question you asked me to start the show was about Will. I think it's a lot easier to walk into Will McClay's office or catch Will on the field. Hey man, you got a minute for me? Yeah, sure. What do you got? Come on, man. I want to talk to you about something. You got time for lunch? Come talk to me. I think that's the way that players, you don't want to be disrespectful to the coaching staff, but you also, as team leaders, you want to be able to convey messages. Hey, you got to help us here. Or if it's Will's case, he's got to go to them and say, you got to help me here. You got to help me. I was very adamant about the time with Dak and the contract, and Stephen Jones sitting him aside and say, you won. You're going to get your $60 million, but let me show you how it's going to look. I think you could be really honest. I think the one thing that players hate is when they get released and you make up some BS story, why. Always tell players directly what the situation is. Players, when you communicate with players, if they feel like that they can walk in and tell you something and you have their back or you have their best interest in heart, those guys will lay it on the line for you. They'll lay it on your line. And I think that's what I think Will's got that kind of relationship where if Zach Martin or Tank Lawrence or CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott came in there and said, hey, what about this? What about this? And I think he could influence because he's got the Joneses ear. Yeah. That's the key right there is make sure you have the Joneses ear in order to make this thing work.
Please, Bryan.
Voch, when we get to this post game on Sunday night, Dak Prescott is going to outplay Lamar Jackson for this win.
I think false, Bryan. I think false. I think both teams are desperate.
Yes.
But I think one team has a better idea of how to use their guys.
Okay.
Hey, man, look, Baltimore is not going to mess around and make y'all feel like, hey, man, wide receiver 3 is going to get involved here. They're not going to mess around with that. They know we're going to throw to the tight ends. We're going to find Flowers. If Bateman is there, hey, we'll throw it to him if you're wide the hell open. Ain't nobody else over there. But, hey, Jackson's going to run around. Henry's going to run around. We're going to throw it to just here. We know what we want to do here. Man, the Cowboys, I don't think we have no clue what we want to do. I think we've been rolling this offense out. And it kind of upsets me a little bit, Bryan, because in my mind, this process that we're going through now, I thought that's what last year was.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I thought we were going to pick up from week 18 last year and go straight into that in week 1. But as opposed to that, it's been Brandon Aubrey lead the league or leading the team in points and stuff, right?
Right.
So I just think the Ravens have a much clearer idea of how they want to win games. I think the Cowboys will roll into a game and figure it out as we go. Hey, we'll look good on offense, but boy, we'll just totally shift away from that and do something goofy in the second half and just look a little strange. Hey, defensively, we can look great in one game, but the other game, we look like we haven't done any of this before, Yeah, we want to be a run-first team. Yeah, we're going to run the foot. We need more attempts is what we need. You know what I mean? We don't know how we're going to get them. We don't know the direction we gonna go, and I don't think scheme is the problem here. But we just need some attempts, Bryan, bro. I just don't think we have a good idea of how to find success with our offense. So if we put it all in Four's hands, then yeah, I think Four have a better day than Jackson. But if we're still in this, acclimation period that Mike McCarthy's still trying to implement what he does into this thing, then nah, I don't think Dak is playing his best football as a byproduct of that.
Do you win this game on offense or defense?
Special teams, Bryan, bro. Special teams.
Good point.
Special teams been keeping us afloat.
We can pull a Commanders.
Yeah.
Just get turnovers and exactly.
Special teams has been our most explosive unit, whether it be a Turpin kick return or a Turpin touchdown kick return or a Brandon Aubrey long field goal. That seems to be the highlight. Even when you blow out the Browns, that highlight didn't come from offense. Yeah, we had a couple of good drives on offense, but the highlight of that was, hey, look at Turpin. Hey, look at what Brandon Aubrey did, right? And the offense will probably get a little credit for it, but Dak hasn't gone incredibly crazy in any of these last two games. So let's just say that, let's just not even talk about teams just for the sake of your question. Offense or defense, which one of these units are going to have to play better in order for us to win the game? I don't think you can let the Ravens run all over you.
No, I don't think so either.
I think you can get into this scrappy fight to where both teams are playing good defense and you guys kind of figure it out at the end. I think that's a better way than us trying to get into some foot race with the Ravens. I don't want to do that.
No, I don't either. I think that to me, and I'm going to ask you a question about this. So let me ask you if I could. In this game, Mike Zimmer is going to have to play a special front in order to stop the Ravens' rushing attack. Now, and let me kind of give you what I got.
Sure.
Playing that 5-2, play the 5-2 in the second half of the Saints game. Is Mike going to have to come up with something that maybe the Ravens, Dallas say, well, we didn't expect that, we didn't expect that. We didn't see that. But is Mike going to have to come up with something scheme-wise to make up maybe for some of the lacking of
the lack of talent?
On that defense in certain spots.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to happen. I don't know if that's necessarily coming up with a new look or scheme or formation or anything like that, but, and I don't want to talk about the previous administration, but we just can't be like, all right, Micah and D-Law, just be good and save us, right? Just be good, just take over this game. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to be purposeful with how you scheme because the other side is going to be purposeful with how they scheme us. So if they're trying to set the Cowboys defense up to do something, we have to be aware of that and come up with a counter to that. And hell, we're gonna have to make some adjustments. Like mid-game, we're gonna have to make adjustments. I mean, we saw last week what it looks like when your offense is playing okay, but your defense didn't cause a punt to the fourth quarter. We saw what that looks like. So I don't think Zim is gonna have to come out there and do anything exotic because getting cute won't win either.
Won't win.
If anything, I just think we have to play more sound. And that was Zimmer's big calling card this offseason. Hey, we got to be more sound. So whatever coaching he got that he's been holding on to, he needs to pull that out and make sure that we're playing sound football.
Can Dallas bully somebody? Are they capable of bullying somebody on either side of the ball?
I think we're capable on offense. I think we're capable. Will our scheme allow that? I don't know. We're a team that likes to, line up with a fullback that's not really a fullback for real, or
sure.
Some tight ends that, our tight ends are our tight ends,
Right.
So I really like our interior offensive line, bro. And this is and this is what I hate, Bryan, bro. This is what makes me sick. It's what makes me sick. I don't think we have bad offensive linemen. There's this conversation going around on social media. They was like, hey, is the Cowboys offensive line good enough? Well, if you compare our offensive line to the offensive line you just played last week or the offensive line you about to play this week, you got more dudes on your offensive line than them.
Yeah.
You do. You got dudes. You probably got the best guard in football and the second or third best guard in football.
Yeah.
Tyler Smith the first. And you have a very strong, very capable of bullying somebody center. your left tackle leans a little bit, but he's gotten better in the run game.
Sure.
If Terrence Steele is anything, he can combo with Zach Martin pretty good. So I do think you have the dudes to be a good move you off the ball team, but it's something missing in that, Brian, and it might be scheme. It might be scheme, and that's up to Mike McCarthy and them to figure out. But they don't think it's scheme. They think it's more attempts. I don't know.
Yeah, there's stuff that they say that blows my mind. But I mean, hey, you and I've got a camera and a mic, right? That's what we do.
Yeah, we don't know that. We don't know a thing, Brian. But let me ask you this.
Yeah,
Voch asked this. Brian, I think this is a good one, man. I think this is a good. We always talk about the 53rd player, right?
Oh, sure.
Is there a practice squad player or a player from, let's say, 46 to 53, right? One of those inactive guys, right? Is there, and I don't want to call them bottom of the roster right now because I know you don't like that particularly, right? But is there a 46 through 53 or a practice squad player?
Yeah.
That you want to give an opportunity to help this team? A backup or a practice squad player that you want to elevate to see if they can help this team?
That's a great question because
damn right it is, Brian. You damn right it's a great question.
To me, if there's somebody that I would like to give an opportunity to, and it's more about the inactive thing. And I really wonder what Flournoy can do.
Yes, sir.
I wonder, I mean, and I don't want to be knee-jerk guy, but I'm knee-jerk guy right now.
Sure.
Brooks, he did what he deserved. He played well at training camp. Made some plays. There's a side of me now after a couple of times where I put him in position to block, couldn't get it done. Put him in position to make a big play, couldn't get it done. I'm kind of like, okay, if I pull him now, does it kill his confidence?
Yeah.
And I think you're right about Turpin. And maybe there's a way, and I don't think they would ever do anything with Turpin. I don't think they would take Turpin's spot. I don't. I think they'll always say, well, kickoff return and punt and this, that, and the other, jet sweeps. But as a receiver, haven't really always seen it. But I think that there's something interesting about Flournoy as a player.
Yeah.
And there's a side of me too that's really, really, really interested always about Marquise Bell. And giving him opportunities instead of just special teams opportunities.
Yeah.
Guys around the ball, tackles well, tough. You could fill him in the alley. He's going to make plays.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know if there's anybody just off that practice squad. You could be absolutely right about Dalvin Cook. I mean, not right, but hey, we're going to do something different here.
Sure.
We're going to do something, but I think Flournoy would be my guy. Do you have a guy in mind on that?
I was thinking Flournoy. I was thinking Marquise Bell just as a backup that I feel like, hey, can he come and play some good safety for us? If you're having problems in the run game, I'm going to go find all my good run guys, and we about to go and try to do something. Malik Davis, how far do you think out are we from giving him a shot at running back? And you know how I feel about Malik Davis, but damn it, I'll try anything right now. How my run game looks.
Yeah. There was something about Malik Davis 2 years ago.
Yeah.
San Francisco playoff game. When Pollard gets hurt. And I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they don't go to Malik Davis. They just kind of
give it to Zeke more.
Yeah.
Just give it to Zeke.
And you're kind of thinking like, well, wow, something's going on there.
Yeah.
And you started hearing whispers about, man, was he really ready? Was he prepared? I don't know if that's hanging over his head anymore. I hope not. I hope they're giving the kid a clean slate.
Yeah.
the thing with Malik, there are times when you can hand him the football and it's going to get to and through the hole.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the next move, as you asked me, Malik Davis, yeah, I'd like to see, but I think the next move is going to be Dalvin Cook. Mm-hmm. And listen, this weekend, it's no bargain running this weekend.
No.
I mean, I asked my guys this question today on the G-Bag Nation on 105.3 The Fan. I said, give me the numbers for the Cowboys running game in this weekend.
30 yards, 25. Deuce gets 2 carries for 8.
Yeah, it's funny. Zach Wolchuk, who we've had on, Zach was more positive about it. He's like, well, 20 for 94. And and everybody kind of looked at each other like, well, that's a pretty damn solid day running the ball against these guys.
Yeah.
But everybody else, Eric and Gavin, were more in the 20 carries for 60, 20 carries for 58.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they were at.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I say, but this is going to be another weekend where you probably don't know about your running game.
Yeah.
And we're going to have more questions and people are going to go, well, they didn't try and run the ball. And I'm going to go, well, if you watch Voch and I all week, we'll tell you they probably couldn't run the ball. Mm-hmm. And watch them go out and run the ball this weekend like there's no tomorrow. That would be great.
It'd be fantastic, but it's the best D line you've seen. It's the best front seven you've seen.
Well, I thought the Browns one was pretty good too, but this one, I just feel like though that it's going to be tough.
Travis Jones and Mata Buike and Roquan Smith, those dudes are tough, man.
Yeah, they are tough. And then Kyle Hamilton comes walking up in there and tackling the hole. You might have everybody blocked except Kyle Hamilton. It's a 3-yard gain, or 4-yard gain. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, if you could have just made Kyle Hamilton miss, and you could have had 7, 8 more yards. Yeah, but it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough running the ball this weekend.
How far are we from Carl Lawson, Brian?
That's an interesting one because I've had people whisper to me because Brad Sham asked me he goes, you thinking Carl Lawson this weekend? And I said, I haven't heard that, Brad. And he goes, let's see. Well, we got through the week and, I started asking some people and they're like, it's getting close. And I went, oh, okay. Like getting close like this week kind of thing. And, we'll see, we'll see how things, cause the one thing that when we watch Carl Lawson and hell, I feel like my evaluations on some of these guys, these free agent dudes that they signed, I kind of felt like that Carl Lawson was a better run defender than he was a pass rusher.
Sure. But
I mean, you watch him with the Jets.
But you could have needed some of that though. You could have needed some of that run defending.
That's why I'm always. I don't think Brad Sham asked me questions, just throwing it up against the wall and hoping because Brad's got to do the game.
Sure.
And Brad's got enough clout to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, is Carl Lawson going to play this weekend? And so if you told me that you had an edge that could play the run really, really well, and this is no slam right now at our rookie, but he's young.
Yeah.
He's a young guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to learn and he's going to get better. And he's a tough kid. Yeah. But they are asking a lot of young guys to step up and, and that's what they have to. I mean, who else are you going to play?
Sure.
So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know, man, but cause Brad asked me early in the week, later in the week, I was hearing, well, he's getting close, but you need to play some run defense. Yeah. And if you watch the Jets tape, that guy played run defense.
John Stevens was limited on the practice report. What was that, yesterday? The Thursday's practice report. So limited ain't out. Limited's not DNP. Like it's limited. Right. He's doing a little bit.
Right.
A team that struggles versus the tight ends, right? Yes. So is John Stevens like a 53rd guy that you think can make an impact this week if he's playing? Yeah,
anybody that plays tight end for you. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and act like, but I do have some encouraging thoughts about with Luke Schoonmaker, but this Raven secondary with Williams, those guys at safety, I do have a feeling, and I said it too yesterday on our breakdown, that I feel like that Hamilton is going to carry Ferguson in some routes.
Yeah.
My guess would be that the Ravens probably look at as Ferguson as the second biggest threat next to Lamb. Yeah. You should punish them with Cooks.
Yeah.
You should punish them with Cooks. The more I watch the Ravens, the more Stevens needs to be attacked.
Sure.
And so I'd love to see them get time and one of their best route runners work on Stevens. I would love to see that, you know, the Chiefs did a great job of getting, and we had a writer from The Athletic on that covers the Ravens today. And he was talking about the thing that really, you know, the thing that they were concerned about was how Kansas City was able to get Roquan Smith and those guys in coverage and took advantage of that. And he says Roquan Smith has not played up to Roquan Smith's standards these first 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, well, damn, don't let him figure it out.
I need that. I need all that. Yeah, don't figure this shit out now.
Don't tell me that, you know. Yeah. But, you know, you watch Tate, it's still Roquan Smith.
Sure.
He makes the tackles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's there. And it's funny because the beat writer was also saying, and I know it's a small sample size for you and I watching 2 games.
Sure.
But he was saying that Humphrey in the slot, when he's played the slot, maybe not so much this year, but before, has had some really good reps. And it's because he could be a little bit more. I know.
He was younger last year, Brian. I ain't trying to hear no Ravens beat writer coming here and tell me that Marlon's gotten better with age, sir. I got film too.
He said playing in the slot, and I was like going, man, I felt like he was better outside from what I watched.
I agree.
I felt like he's a better player outside, and I'm going to take my chances. I really don't want to attack him too terribly much.
Yeah.
You know, I would be so interested in finding ways where he has to cover Tolbert the whole game. You know what I'm saying? Move your guys and work your guys to where Humphrey is not on your guy. Yeah. Find Stevens, you know, find these safeties. And if Roquan Smith and them at linebackers can't cover, you know, these like flexed or detached tight ends in coverage, then work on that. There are some things that will encourage you about playing this Ravens defense. You know, now there used to be a time where you watch the Ravens and you're like, we're not gonna get 20 yards in this game.
Sure.
But they've lost a lot of coaches. They've lost a lot of personnel. It's a different team. Really, it's a different team on defense.
Brian, the whole team, right?
Yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams. What group has to be better, your players or your coaches?
Boy, it's a really good question.
Goddamn right it is. Come on, Brian. I mean, hold on, man. Let me give you a second to think. Let me give you a second to think about that one, Brian. The whole team, offense, defense, special team, who has to be better? What group has to be better? The players, or do the coaches have to be better, Bryan Broaddus?
I think the coaches have to be better in this one. Really do.
Yeah.
I mean, the players were not good last week, and neither were the coaches.
Sure.
But in a game like this, you are going to need to figure out ways to scheme things. You are going to need to find a way. Now, I'm sure there's some folks listening right now say, man, I want my players to be better, which you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with Lamar Jackson, a quarterback.
Yeah.
You need whoever, if they do, we always like to throw the spy thing out there, and then you watch the game and they don't spy at all. It's a very convenient way to talk about quarterbacks that are runners.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a spy, and then you're like, we're not going to play a spy.
No spy.
Yeah, maybe, you never know. Maybe. But I think in this game, coaches can make a difference.
Sure.
Coaches can make a difference in getting guys on getting, hey, like we just went through for the last 3 days. You and I have just gone through guys that we would think about attacking and guys we're worried about. But coaches have got to find a way to get those guys in position to make plays. You know, if it's by alignment, you know, if it's like showing a front and then stimming to another front, you know, maybe to confuse some blocking schemes, you know, maybe not allow, you know, maybe by alignment, you can get your down lineman. You know, when Mike went to that 5-2, it was a little harder for the Saints to get their linemen up on the linebackers.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's things that coaches can do, but in this game, and I do believe that the players do have to play better, though. That was not good enough. We all know that wasn't good enough. I'm not telling you something you already don't know.
Sure.
But I think that Mike Zimmer and those guys, when they go back, and Mike McCarthy, when they go back, they're going to think like we didn't do enough. They had a good plan. They had a good scheme. They executed well, you know. But if who's got the better roster? Who's, you know, is it coaches or players? Who's got the better roster, Saints or Cowboys?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, players have got to play.
Yeah.
But the coaches have got to help the players to play better, in my opinion. Yeah.
I agree, Brian. Coaching has to be better. And look, man, I don't want to say nothing bad about the Saints, bro, because they just went out there and whooped us, man. But I know who Derek Carr is, man.
Oh, sure.
Derek Carr's been the same dude his whole life, man. But a little bit of scheme change, a little bit of coaching change make that man look brand new. Like Carl Granderson went crazy on you. I was on a Raven show and I asked his chat box, does anybody know Carl Granderson? And they was like, no. Well, Carl Granderson was a character that beat up on 78 for a while, for a sack and a half and a couple of run stops, you know. Coaching matters, man. Please, Brian.
I would be interested, and I'll read your comments, the folks that listen and want to comment. Okay. I'll be more than happy to read your comments about which one you think, the players or the coaches. I'd be interested to see if that's a 50-50 split. But, you know, sometimes it's, you know, what's the old saying? It's about the Jimmies and Joes and not the X's and O's. Yeah.
That's fair, but Jimmy's and Joe's look different when coaches get involved, man.
I've seen really good teams that were poorly coached. I mean, I've seen very talented teams that were poorly coached. Yeah, and that's a problem.
Look at the Eagles last year. Look at the Eagles. Like they have coaching changes and they just kind of collapse a little bit. Yeah.
They collapse. Yeah,
they collapse. I think my audience, and look, shouts out to y'all watching right now. Go in the comments and let us know. Do you think that the players or the coaches need to be better? It's going to be 20% of people that say, hey, Dak Prescott's trash, we need to get rid of him. But I think for the most part, I've been seeing a lot of people saying, yeah, we need better dudes. And then there are some people that say that we need better coaches. So I think this is something that's going to be down the middle. I may make a poll and
I'd be interested because I think I'd be interested because I think that people, you know, always the low hanging fruit is players, you know, and then, you know, when you really, really dive in, you're like, well, why are you asking Linville Joseph to play 3 gaps? Why are you asking him to play 2 gaps? Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, why are you asking him to play with range? Why can't you, you know, there's things that you do and you're just like, you know, coaches will do things and you're just like, well, why did you do that? Why was your game plan that? Yeah. You know, why was your plan that? And, you know, they're responsible for the game. The players play and, you know, like the Saints, you're right. They kicked your ass. They kicked everybody's ass, you know? Yeah. I mean, so that's the hard thing about it. In this game, your players are going to have to be good and some of them are going to have to be great, but your coaches are going to have to be great too. Yeah. You know, you can't lose that battle. You can't lose that battle. Maybe I'm asking a lot because I'm sure some people will comment, well, McCarthy's trash, Zimmer's trash, you know, Schottenheimer's trash, you know, Mike Solari's trash. You know,
and honestly, I don't think that we're all that trash. I just think we're stubborn and stuck in our own way.
I agree. I agree. There's things that we absolutely need to work away from.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the rest of the league is evolving and they're moving towards this same stuff that that tree of guys are doing. And we want to hire old people. We want to go with the older stuff. So,
no, it's no question. What's your biggest fear in this game?
Another blowout would be terrible. So if we can't stop the run, that'll be horrific. And I know, Derrick Henry had like 40 yards one game and 80 yards another game. A 120-yard Derrick Henry game would be some nonsense. Because if he go crazy, Jackson's gonna go crazy. There's gonna be some big plays in the passing game. So if Derrick Henry gets triple-digit rushing yards, I'll be pretty upset, Brian. Like we just can't stop him. We can't tackle him. We can't do nothing with him.
Yeah, the fact that they just kind of continue to repeat the same play and you really don't have an answer for it, and then all of a sudden it just, yeah. I'm from the school of let this guy beat me throwing the ball. If Zay Flowers is the FedEx Air Player of the Week, so be it. You didn't run the ball on me.
Sure.
Yeah. I would just like to see. I would like to see them just. I'd like to see them just get off the ball, get off blocks, and tackle. I know they're not going to make every single tackle. I know they're not going to. There's going to be a couple of plays with it. You're going to get frustrated. Yeah. But I just don't need to keep looking up and as I do my notes as I go play by play by play by play, and it 1st and 10, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1. I don't. And it comes from running. That's my fear. Yeah. I don't need this team. I need them to be in some 3rd and 8s. It's 3rd and 7s. Sure. I don't need them to be in 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1 all day. Yeah. If that's the case, you're going to get, but I'd like to see the Dallas offense take advantage of some of the things that the Ravens aren't doing very well right now while you got them down. Yeah. Yeah. Throw the ball. Let's get like 400 passing yards and win this damn game for sure. No, that's for sure. For sure. Did you have anything else for me, Brian? Yeah, I was thinking about something. Okay, cool. I got one more too. I'm going to go last though. Okay. I was thinking about this one. In the battle of the kickers, which team has the better kicker? Cowboys got a better kicker, Bryan Broaddus. Cowboys got a better kicker. And Justin Tucker has like the resume. I think he missed some 50s the past couple of weeks. I could be wrong. He's missed some 50s, yeah. He's missed a couple. And look, as a kicker, you're judged on your 50s. You're judged on your 50s. I think that in the NFL this year, I think teams are perfect from 50 yards or more. I thought I saw some stat like that. Look at the league. Wait. I take that back because you just said Tucker just missed one. Yeah. But it was some stat that I saw where kickers were. It's some incredible, it wasn't because Tucker's missed one. What am I saying? Yeah. But somebody had some stat out there that the kickers over 50 yards are kind of knocking them down. It may be the highest percentage of 50-yard makes in history or something like that. Because, I've been saying this, we used to gather around the TV when it's like a 53-yard, and now we smoking. Oh, my God. It was like, when Tom Dempsey kicked in 1970, kicked the 63-yarder, you're like, holy geez, how'd that get home? You know what I mean? Bad field, terrible football, the New Orleans Saints, it was crazy. But nowadays these guys knock them home with regularity. Tucker definitely has the name and the resume and the accolades, and he's a Hall of Famer right now as a kicker whenever he gets in, I guess. But Aubrey's the new sheriff for sure. You think you got the better kicker? Yeah. Because you can't be missing. I think you do too. I think you do too. You can't be missing 50s and I can make it from 70. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you bet. Do you think this game could come down to Aubrey having to make a 60-yard field goal to win? Sure. I would love it to be because I'm confident in Aubrey from 50 and 60. And that's hellified range, Bryan Broaddus, but I'm confident in Brandon Aubrey. When you can make a 66 and have 5 more yards to go, and we don't really see Aubrey's kick sway side to side a little bit. It's all about, hey, can he? Oh, that Lance Zierlein, or not Lance Zierlein. What was Zierlein's for? Lance Zierlein's down in Houston. Greg Zierlein. That ball was moving all over the place when that guy was kicking it. Yeah, that thing would be perfect and then wave at the end, like wave, dip. Yeah, Aubrey, that thing. Yeah. Shoots, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think Aubrey is the unproven better kicker right now. He just needs a little more time to catch up with the accolades. Gotcha. Brian. Yeah. I was thinking about something. I was talking to some friends of mine. Gang of 7? My gang of 5, and the chat knows who that is.
I was talking to many people about this, Bryan.
Sure.
And we've been talking about coaching trees a lot and all this kind of stuff. Have you put much thought to your coaching tree, to your draft show coaching tree? There's a lot of Cowboy media content legends that all kind of come from your tree. You know, I was talking to a lot of people. I do this post game show with Kavanaugh and Aisha Morrison, and those are some people that have come from your tree. You know, we Dave Hellman is with Fox Sports, but they, and the draft show is your baby. That is your baby.
Mine and Ed Cahill, who's with the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, that's Ed. Ed came up with the idea, and he convinced me. It didn't take much convincing, but he convinced me that that's the way to go. Shouts
out to Ed Cahill, but I wasn't outside for Ed Cahill when I was out here slinging pizzas in the hood, keeping everybody safe, slinging pizzas and breadsticks and 2 liters in the hood. It was you, it was Jeff, and it was Hellman and Brugler and those guys, right? Yeah. So. Yeah. You have quite a successful tree, sir. You the Shanahan of draft and Cowboy draft media, sir. Have you? And I'm looking to be a new branch on your tree.
Well,
at some point.
Yeah, from everything that I gathered, you're in line for this stuff.
Bryan Broaddus got some mixed kids. That's interesting. But
I've got some. Yeah, I do. I have some mixed. I was just thinking of all the guys and gal. Well, Aisha, the only gal. Yeah. So proud of her.
Sure.
Damn lady, she had a job at the Senior Bowl.
I know, right?
I mean, crazy. I mean, in such a good way. I'm going to make a prediction. She's going to be at the Senior Bowl, scouting it up here next year.
Yeah,
my prediction.
Probably so.
My man Jim Nagy realized he probably made a mistake.
Yeah.
But anyway. Shout out to Dane Brugler. Dane Brugler was a PR guy in baseball. He's working on NFL scout draft and living here and living here in Dallas and just up the road, and him being involved. And you mentioned Jeff Kavanaugh, Kevin Turner. Those guys had full-time radio jobs.
Yeah.
And they would come to Valley Ranch, watch tape. They'd come to Star from 7:30 till 11 o'clock every night, watch tape after doing their jobs. Really proud of him. Those guys, really proud of the crew that we have now. I mean, it's like I say, Aisha did a hell of a job. She's got other things she's going to do. Hellman, I mean, it was quite a crew. It really, really was quite a crew. And I think the draft show, it's some of the toughest work you can ever do because people rely on you to be, you're not always going to be right. But you're looking at 250 players, every year you're kind of putting it out there. You're on the show for an hour and you were saying, this guy can play, this guy can play, this guy can't play. And, people are hanging on your words and they're like, well, hey, Bryan, I thought you said, oh, Bryan, you were right about, and it's very, very stressful, but that's what makes the draft show so great is that, there's that pressure. And when you're on the show, you just want to have all the information for people. Again, you're not always going to be right, but being on that show is some of the most exhilarating stuff you'll ever do in your life because of just the pressure, but to see it through for those 3 days, God, it's a blast. And looking forward to having you on board for part of that.
Hey man, it sounds like some heavy shit, you know what I mean? But
you will I could say you will people, it'll test you a little bit.
Sure.
It will test your resolve. It'll test your people coming after you about stuff. Sure. I mean, you just kind of okay. I felt bad. Aisha, that first year, we threw her into that thing, threw her in the deep end of the pool. First year, she did a great job. Second year, she's like, there's people in the scouting world, scouting community in the NFL that's like, hey, who's this young lady that we had on the draft show? Who is this young lady? And I'm like, that's Aisha Morrison. She's got a lot of toughness. Yeah. And the toughness comes from being on the draft show. It really does. You learn how to be really, really tough being on that show. because it's not easy to do. It's just not. So.
I've been a fan of it my whole life. I've been training for it my whole life.
Oh,
and
get ready. Get ready. You're about to get your ass kicked. I mean, we're a long way.
I'll get my ass. We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go.
Well, the sad thing about it is, I say it's a long way to go. It's like September 20th right now.
3 months, for 4 months.
And I'm sitting there thinking I'm gonna start looking at players on December 1st.
Yep.
You know, you start looking at players, and then the next thing you know, it's okay. The season's come to an end, and Derek Eagleton goes, boom, draft show next week.
Yep.
And you're like, here we go. For the next 4 months, we're doing this stuff, you know? So it's exciting. It's great. I do love all the people that participated in it, though. I really do. I mean, I think guys and gals got full-time jobs.
Sure.
They're scouting players every night.
Sure.
And coming on and talking about that, man. Great times. Great times.
Can't wait, man. I'm going to bring back fights. I'm going to have y'all. I'm going to be on y'all ass, Bryan, so I hope you're ready, please.
Oh, no, I'm ready. Real quick. And I thought of one other question.
Sure.
Here. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah, please.
Did I ask you this question? I might have had. If I did, because I've tried to ask it to a bunch of different people I know and trust.
You getting old, man.
I am getting old. I am old. If you could hire, did I ask you if you could hire? Okay. And I'm not trying to say anything about Mike, but this is just if you were a general manager of a team. If you could hire a Shanahan coach or a coach that could stop the Shanahan offense every time, which guy you hiring? Shanahan coach or coach that can stop the Shanahan offense every time?
Well, if a national superpower has a nuke, you don't build your nuke defense first. You go and get a damn nuke. And you having a nuke stops everybody else from nuking because we all got nukes now. Okay. Then we build the nuke defense. So if I have a Shanahan coach, I can at least score points with you. Look, it'll be 55-46 every week, but I'll worry about defense later. So look, Bryan, that dude over there in Detroit, that dude over there in Houston, they're gonna be looking for head coaching jobs, man.
Yeah.
That dude New Orleans.
Yeah, those
dudes gonna be head coaches soon, man. I would love for them to be on Jerry Jones's call list.
Sure, I was because if you had the guy that, because I think the league is turning into these run the ball. We're gonna circle back to running the football again, you know. And the way the Shanahans run the football is some of the best ever. Yeah. So I wonder though if you had a guy that you knew no matter what Shanahan coach showed up, you could stop them.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the way to go.
Stopping the Shanahan off. Look, but that's what I thought when I had in Zimmer, Bryan. But the only thing that'll happen is that the Shanahan offense will just keep growing and getting better. You know.
I know. That's what I'm saying though. But to me, I've got the guy that could stop the Shanahan offense.
No. I want to fit in with the cool kids, dog. I want to fit right in with them. I don't want to. I feel like there's a way to shut down the Shanahan offense. You just got to have like better dudes.
We had Mark Schlereth on, who works for CBS, and Mark played for Shanahan at Denver. You know, and then he played with the Redskins, but they were a counter tray, and nobody could stop the counter tray in the '80s with Joe Gibbs running the football. And then the Shanahans came along and did what they did, and I asked Stink, I go, how do you stop the Shanahan offense? He goes, you force them to throw. You score more than they have. You score more. Yeah. You just score more. And then and I thought it was kind of funny, but he's right. If all of a sudden it turns into you're behind and you can't run your offense. Now, Kyle Shanahan can run his offense with San Francisco and score. He can find, but he said just score more. Yeah. You know, make them take them out of their ability to run the football.
Now, just imagine having that offense with Dak Prescott or something like that. Oh, come on, Bryan. We outscoring everybody. Bryan Broaddus. Hey, I wanted to show you something real quick before we adjourned. Let me hit that button there, and boom, I put up our poll, and 110 people quickly responded, and and they feel like 80% is on players should be better, and 20% say coaches should be better. So there's an instant reaction to our poll. I appreciate all 114 people tapping in so quickly.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you doing that. It's always interesting that way. There's a lot of times where we do these shows, and fans don't want to blame the players.
Yeah,
they always want to blame the coaches. So you've good for the fan base for keeping the mind. I'm not looking for blame here. I'm just saying, who do you need? It's a great question. Who do you need to be better?
Yeah,
and man, to me, give me the opportunity for these coaches to give me the opportunity for these coaches to kind of put the guys in the right spot. And I think these guys are good enough to execute, but they've got to be ready to go. Yeah. I don't know if they were necessarily ready to go against New Orleans. Man, New Orleans, Dallas wins the toss. They defer. Now I'm thinking, all right, here we go. And that next thing you know, that thing's going down the field on you, and you're like going, holy geez.
Yeah.
You got no answer right now. And then that thing got to 21-13. I'm like, okay, get a stop here. Good luck with that, Brian.
Yeah,
you ain't getting the stop today.
Yeah, Jalen Brooks falls and we get a damn near pick six.
Damn near pick six for sure.
Horrific. Brian, appreciate you, man. This was a fantastic exchange of.
I think your questions this week were better than my questions. I appreciate your questions more. I think I learned something. With your questions today. I don't know if I made you think as much as you made me think, but I look forward to seeing you post game. Right?
100%.
Post game, we'll sit down and talk. I'll be in the Miller Lite Club again, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That thing will end about 9:30, where I work for 105.3 The Fan. And if you could stay up late with me at 9:31, yeah, exactly. Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, man, we working, Brian. I'll be up. Working with you.
Give me 9:31. I'm gonna tap in and we're gonna talk some ball. How about that?
Let's get some work done, Bryan Broaddus. Hopefully, between now and then, the Cowboys send one of them 5th round picks to somebody to get a one-tech or a running back or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Hey, y'all be sure to follow me on my socials, VOCHLONBARDI. I'm probably posting jokes and laughing at Jerry Jones about something. And y'all tap into Bryan Broaddus, BRYN Broaddus. He's going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and read y'all's tweets and comments, all right? We love y'all to pieces. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. And like I said, we'll see you on Sunday for the post-game show. It'll be a little later, all right? Y'all hold it down. We'll catch y'all next time, all right? Crown.